Hans, where are you? Yeah.
I want to tell you about a family Thanksgiving dinner in 1954. It was that was a day that I think I probably learned more in that single day than I would ever learn before. I was 11 years old at the time. Now, my mother was the eldest of three sisters. They were all born and raised up in New Jersey, northern New Jersey, just across the river from New York City. The two younger sisters had families. They lived in Jersey still. And our family, my sister, mother, dad, and me, we lived down in the suburbs of Philadelphia. Now, those locations are only about 100 miles apart, so that on the major holidays of Thanksgiving and Christmas, we all got together. Okay. All right, for Thanksgiving, the three sisters would divide up the responsibilities. One would do the turkey and all the stuffings. One would do all the side dishes. And the other do with desserts. And Thanksgiving 1954, my Aunt Evelyn, Aunt Evie, did the desserts. All right. Seating arrangements, all of the adults, one long table, one end of the room, kids down here with a separate table, all around. I sat at the head of the kids' table. I think that was something arranged by my mother because she wanted to keep an eye on me. She knew that at my age I was just an accident that hadn't happened yet. And at that time of day, my daily accident had not happened yet. So she was all over me. All right, the turkey's carved, platters on the table. We're in the midst of saying grace, but we only get as far as God bless this food to our use. And then you hear the first, please pass the gravy. It's family, you know. You know. Okay, I hoover up everything on my plate because I want to get dessert. I go over there, I cut myself a big wedge of pumpkin pie. I come back, I sit down, I take a big forkful of it, and the look on my face is enough that my mother is over on me like a flash. Okay? She reaches over my shoulder, she takes a daub of the pumpkin pie, and knows immediately that Aunt Evie doesn't know how to make pumpkin pie. She has just taken the raw pumpkin out of the cans, all right, put them in the pie crust, and served it. Well, the entire room is fixated on the kids' table, you know. So Mom's in a jam. She's in a jam. She wants to throw Evie under the bus, all right? But she's got to relieve this tension. You're not there. All right, so she kind of defaults to a deception and diversion methodology, you know. I mean, it's something that our politicians had made into an art form. It deceived the people, you know, as, there's nothing going on here, there's nothing you got to. It diverted the people from the fact that Aunt Evie screwed the pooch and there's no pumpkin pie. So Mom reads the room. And she looks down at me. And she leans over my shoulder and whispers in my ear, "Eat it." So I swallow. That diffuses everything. Everybody goes back to stuff in their face. All right? Mom whisks away the pumpkin pie, and I get a nice slice of pecan pie. Everything's cool. A little later in the day, Mom pulls me aside, all right? And she wants to explain to me the concept of the greater good. And I get it, you know. Better to take a little heat now than a lot of heat later. Or, as we would say down in the playground, better to take a kick in the ass now than a kick in the balls later. Which is a much better way to get the message to guys, by the way. All right? I'm still trying to sort this all out, what happened during the day. I know we did good. We saved Aunt Evie. But in order to do so, we had the practice of deception. And the deception's kind of a lie. So I said to Mom, all the things that I learned in Sunday school. Or that thou shalt nots, all that kind of stuff. I said, are the rules still the rules? Mom looks at me for what seems like a long time. And then she says, well, it depends. And that's when I knew that the rules were still the rules until they weren't. All right, so anyhow, Thanksgiving was a great success. We had saved Aunt Evie. The food was good. And none of the natives were restless. And for me, it had been a great day. All right? I had learned about deception and diversion. I knew now that I was qualified to run for office. But I decided that I wanted to graduate 6th grade instead. I learned about the greater good. But it occurred to me that although saving oneself, falling on one's sword, let's put it that way. Falling on one's sword in the interest of the greater good. Right? Though noble, did not do a whole lot for the guys that fell on the sword. And then finally I learned about, the fact that, all right, the rules are the rules until they aren't, which kind of came across to me, like going into a gunfight and finding out that some of your bullets were blanks. All right, so what's the point? What's the point of all this? All right, maybe with the help of a little tongue-in-cheek here. Right? But through the eyes of an 11-year-old that's just trying to figure out how life really works. To him I say, woe be unto you if you think that life is going to be played according to some kind of rule book and you're going to get an instruction manual. Doesn't work that way. It's a free-for-all out there. Everything is ad hoc. Now, before anybody slits their wrists, however, I've got a solution. Laughter. Hear me out on this. Retail life is always going to be a shitstorm of arbitraries, anomalies, argumentatives, insanities, inanities, and horseshit. And the best way to deal with this, in my opinion, is with a sense of humor. But if you're unable to do a howling at the moon, gut busting, knee buckling, eye watering, falling off the chair, rolling around on the floor, belly laugh. If you can't do that, I don't think I like your chances. In other words, if you can't do humor, you can't do life. Can't do humor, you can't do life. And by the way, if Will Rogers or Mark Twain try and steal that line, feel free to dig them up and kick them in the balls.